our first webinar of 2022. Thank you for joining us. We are so glad that you're here. Every business owner I know is interested in what they can do today to create great value in their business. And that's what we focus on here at Mastery Partners. It's kind of an obsession with me, along with teaching business owners what they need to do in order to make the most out of their business. Now, most of you on right now know who I am, but for those who don't, let me tell you why you should pay attention to what I have to say. I'm Tom Bronson, and I've been exactly where you are. I've been in your seat for many, many years. I know firsthand what the sacrifice, the blood, sweat, and tears are of founding and running and owning a business. And I promise you, I've made every mistake you've made or are going to make at least twice. But I have successfully transitioned 100 businesses in my career. And sadly, I've been witness to too many unfortunate stories of business owners who just couldn't transition their business when they needed to, who could not liquidate their asset when the time came. And I don't want you to go down that same path. And that fuels our desire here at Mastery Partners to share our knowledge and experience with you. I'm all about driving ridiculous results. At Mastery Partners, we're all about creating massive value. We don't just tell you what you need to do, but we give you a way to actually accomplish it. Today, I'm going to give you 5 actions every business owner needs to take right now to maximize the value of your business this year. And then I'm going to tell you how to accomplish those 5 things. In addition to telling you all about that, we're going to also talk about our next Mastery class, which is a great way for you to learn how to maximize the value of your business. We'll talk about that more later in this webinar. Now, there's a download that you can use to take notes. I happen to download it myself, so if you can see that, I don't know if you can see that. I got my camera blurred a little bit, but you can download it to take notes, or you can just use a sheet of paper. I'm typically have got a pile of paper in front of me so that I can take notes. Kim just put that, I think, copy of that in the chat. If you haven't downloaded it already, you can just click on the chat and go and download the handout if you'd like to use that today. And I encourage you to do 2 things. One, write down any one of the 5 actions so you can put it to use right now in your business. But we've also, if you notice on the handout, we've given you space to write down 3 actions that you can take today. And at the end of this call, I'm going to ask you what stood out to you. So write down what sticks out to you. And you might want to write down more than 3 actions or the 1 action, and that's fine. But just remember, at the end, I'm going to ask you what you're going to focus on. And if you're brave enough, I'm going to ask you to share that with us. By the way, feel free to drop your questions in the chat anytime during this webinar. When we get to the end, I'm going to answer all of your questions. So don't fear, I will get to those. So let's get started, shall we? As business owners, we all come to a fork in the road or a Y in the road, and we have to decide which way to go. As a business owner, this seems to happen all the time, daily, really. You have to decide which way is best for you, your business, your employees, and your customers. I've been there too. The decisions that you make today impact the future of your business. It impacts your value tomorrow. That value payday may seem like it's a long way off, but what you do now, today, does matter when the time comes. Will you be ready? Will you be able to maximize the value of your business? I think of this fork in the road, or this Y in the road, having a double meaning. As Simon Sinek would say, start with why, which is a great question to ponder as you think about the ideal state of your business and your future transition. Let's face facts. Every business on the planet will eventually transition. Will you be ready? So let's start with these 5 actions today and help build value for tomorrow. And we're going to talk about why it's important for business owners to take this action. Well, let me start with 83% of attempted business transitions fail to transition when the time comes. That's right. Only 1 in 6 businesses actually want to transition gets to the finish line. Stated another way, only 17% of business owners will be able to transition their business on their terms. Look, things happen. Recently, I was connected with a business owner and inherited a business after the tragic death of a founder. That business had to have a fire sale because the business was just not ready to transition. The founder had not taken time to prepare the business for that transition, and that ends many times in tragedy. Just saying that makes me mad as hell. It shouldn't have to be that way, and we're out to fix it. Now, I know what you're thinking. That won't happen to me. So let's talk about the top 3 reasons businesses fail to transition on their terms. First, some businesses are just plain unprepared for transition. For most business owners, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but they haven't given much thought to what it takes to prepare that business for that eventual transition. Frankly, there are very few resources available to them when it comes time to learning how to transition their business. Second is unrealistic expectations of enterprise value. Now, this, I think, is the #1 deal killer. Most business owners really don't understand the value of their business, and therefore they have an unrealistic expectation based usually on emotion rather than facts. Third, there's no strategy in place. Did you know that 72% of business owners have no exit strategy at all? And 48% of business owners who want to sell their business right now have no exit strategy. Now, that is just simply alarming to me. But it's not their fault. There's so little information out there about how to prepare a business for a transition. The Maximize Business Value MasterYclass will help maximize business value in your business, step by step, in just a few hours each month. As I said, we'll talk about that when we get toward the end. Now, I have successfully completed 100 business transactions as the buyer or as the seller, not as an intermediary for someone else. That's me buying or selling businesses. And I'm here to tell you that not all the deals we attempted worked out exactly the way we wanted it. One of these 3 things got in the way of almost every one of our transactions. So that takes us to our first action of things you need to do. Here's #1. Find out what your business is really worth. It's the starting point for creating value. Because if you don't know what your business is really worth today, how can you take action to maximize the value of your business to reach your ultimate goals? It's kind of like running a race without a starting line. You need to know where to start if you're going to run a race. So get an opinion of enterprise value. And when you do, make sure that the valuation is based on the desired type of transition that you desire. It does make a difference in your valuation. For example, if the desired outcome is to transition your business internally to family or your managers, or perhaps through an ESOP, the business will be valued differently than if you want to sell the business to a third party. Now, there's a link in the chat to our ebook on types of transitions that you can find right on our website, and we're also putting it in the chat as well. Now, if you're not sure where to start, we can help with that in 2 ways. You can go to our website and click the button to schedule a time to give me a call, and I'll walk you through doing that. And by the way, I know we've got a great friend of mine, Larry Lane, who also does business valuations for his clients. So whether you're planning to sell the business in a year or 5 years from now, find out where the starting line is today. So let's go back to this reason why the 83% fail to transition. No strategy. So remember the race analogy I just used? So take it a step further. What if you know where you're starting the race, but it has no finish line? You just run and run and run, kind of like Forrest Gump, running from coast to coast and eventually just stopping. So, and there's never an end in sight. Of course, that just sounds ridiculous, but it's exactly what many business owners do. They start a business and quickly get sucked into the day-to-day operation of the business and never take the time to develop a clear, well-defined exit strategy. Then they look up 5 or 10 years later and realize that that time was lost. Look, the best time to maximize business value is yesterday, but the second best time is right now. So don't leave value on the table by not taking time now to work on your business strategy. Not just an exit strategy, but a solid business strategy that will build value in your business. So that leads us to the second action that we recommend to every business owner is to get clear on the vision for the future of your business. Now, how do we do that? It's easy to say, oh yeah, I know what my vision is, but we have a process that we use, and we use the Future Clarity Mapping Tool. Kim, I think you've dropped that into the chat, or she just dropped that into the chat. It's the Clarity Mapping Tool that we use, and it's something that we use for us in our business and with our business owners to help. Why? Because it identifies where you are today. It helps you clearly articulate and be honest with yourself about where the business is today. Then it clearly articulates where you want the business to be in the future. It also helps you understand why that future is important to you. And then critically, it identifies the capabilities you will need in order to get there. So I invite you to download the Future Clarity Mapping Tool that we use. It only takes about 30 minutes to complete. So action number 2, get clear on your future. If you can visualize it, then you can build a plan to get there. Now, as I said, this is something we do at least annually ourselves at Mastery Partners, and we look at it often. I keep it very handy right here on my desk. We look at it often to stay on the right path to maximizing our business value. Now, we also have a podcast that walks you through using the Clarity Mapping Tool. By the way, we're going to give you, of course, several links in this webinar, but if you miss one, we'll be sending out an email after today's webinar that will include all the links. And if you downloaded the notes, then there are links to everything that we're talking about here in the webinar today. So don't fear if you miss something, then there's always an opportunity to catch up. So let's go back to the reasons that 83% of business owners fail to transition their business. Most business owners are just not ready to transition. Business owners are typically great at holding their employees accountable, but who holds you accountable for reaching your goals? Have you ever set goals and just lose momentum, or ultimately give up on that goal, or just kick the can down the street? Look, if you're honest with yourself, I know I am. I've done that myself. So, but do you have close confidants in the business that can be your sounding board and hold you accountable for achieving your goals, both personal and professional? Every business owner needs to surround themselves with the right people, people who will encourage them and will occasionally have that hard conversation with them about preparing their business for transition. So action number 3 of 5 things that business owners need to do right now is surround yourself with the right people, both inside and outside the company. Insiders sometimes have blind spots, and that's why it's important to have some outsiders who can offer a fresh perspective on the business. We recommend to our clients that they have a board of advisors that can look at the business objectively and give some input to them. So surrounding yourself with the right people who are doing the right things will help you prepare the business for that eventual transition. Now, look, I've been in peer groups for years, and I can't tell you how important they've become to me and my businesses. Here are some of the benefits of being in a peer group. They provide resources. Look, none of us individually is as smart as all of us collectively. They provide a circle of trust. A sounding board makes ideas better. Problems seem easier to solve, and success is sweeter. They provide support, both professional and emotional support, because let's face facts, it's lonely sitting at the top of a company. Now, they provide accountability so you can identify your blind spots, your hot spots, your soft spots, because once you get clarity on those, it's much easier to take corrective action. Peer groups are just better together. The power of a peer group can make a pivotal difference in your ability to succeed in your business. And they provide an opportunity for better mental and physical health. Now, don't forget, we were all designed to be in community, and being in a community leads to better health of yourself and the business. Now, if you want to learn more about the power of peer groups, I encourage you to search the Maximize Business Value podcast for the episode on the power of peer groups. In fact, Kim just dropped it into the chat box here. Trick, by the way, is you can click on that. It'll open up a separate tab for you, and you can always go back to those if you like to. You can download that episode wherever you find your podcast. You can click on that link here. And if you don't know where to find our podcast, you can always ask your Alexa to play the Maximize Business Value podcast. I think that's kind of fun. Anytime I walk into a room that has an Alexa, I say, "Hey, Alexa, play the Maximize Business Value podcast." So that's kind of fun, probably just for me. So lesson number 4 is to learn the value drivers in your business. You'd be surprised at how many business owners focus on the wrong things that really don't create value. Understand your VCR. Now, we're not talking about the old days, old school Netflix VCR type of a VCR. It's value creation revenue. There is such a thing as good revenue and bad revenue. Bad revenue merely adds to the top line without contributing to the bottom. But value creation revenue actually drives the value of the business faster. Now, I didn't make up value creation revenue. That actually came from a great friend of mine, David Weibel, who discovered that certain revenue actually drove the value of his business. And then he could focus on that, and he had a spectacular exit from his business. If you want to learn more about David and how he learned how to use value creation revenue, you can also go to the podcast section on our website, and you can do that. And look at that. Kim is on top of this. You can click on that link. There's the podcast with my interview with David. He is incredible. Do you know what your VCR is? If not, find out and then relentlessly work to increase it. Now, in our mastery class, we'll do a deep dive into value creation revenue. And of course, you can learn more about VCR on that podcast that is now in the link. Which leads me to the 5th and final action every business owner needs to take right now. I made a lifelong commitment to learning. And that's why I read so many books, attend so many conferences, go to so many other people's webinars. So take the time to step back and sharpen your saw. whether it's our MasterYclass or some other educational opportunity, take the time to learn and put that knowledge to good use in your business. Frankly, sharpening your saw is perhaps the best thing you can do for your business. So let's review these 5 actions. Know what your business is worth. And what I want you to do is score each one of these questions on a scale of 1 to 6. 1 meaning that totally unprepared or don't know, don't understand, and 6 being got it nailed, just got a valuation on my business, I know what it's worth. So score yourself on a scale of 1 to 6 on these 5 questions. Know what your business is worth. If you know what your business is worth clearly and you've had an objective view of it, that's a 6. If you don't know, it's a 1. Get clear on the future. Do you know what the future holds? Are you crystal clear? Can you communicate that future to your employees? If so, then great, that's a 6. If not, it's a 1. Somewhere in between that scale, perhaps, is where you find. Surround yourself with the right people. If you know you've got all the right people inside and outside your organization, the high marks for you. If you understand your value creation revenue, high marks for you. If not, lower marks. And do you regularly and routinely sharpen your saw? If so, high marks for you. So if you're brave enough, share. If a perfect score is a 30 on that. So 5 questions, up to 6 points. A perfect score is a 30. Now, if you're brave enough, just share with us your total in the chat. So as I said, a perfect score is 30. This will give you some idea about how you're doing to get your business ready for that inevitable transition. I don't see anybody putting anything in the chat, so I'm guessing that everybody is too meek. And I know many of you folks. Wallflower does not describe any of you. So feel free to drop that in. In our case, when we do this, if you add it up, perhaps it's going to give you, what have I got here? Kim gave me some numbers. So 12, 14, 18, that's not bad. On a scale of 1 to 30, that's not bad. Jim has a 16, Tim has a 12. So somebody got a 20. But that's Emmanuel Dubois. Hi, Emmanuel. It's good to have you with us. The 20, it could be an optimistic view. I don't know, but it's critical to be honest with yourself about this. 12, 18, 16. Good. I'm so glad that you guys are willing to kind of share those. It shows you that there's some opportunity for growth and to get on the right path. So those are the 5 actions that you need to take right now. And if that's all you came for today, I delivered it in 25 minutes. But if that's not good enough for you, then we want you to be in the 17% club. The 17% club is what we call the fraternity of business owners who have successfully transitioned their business. For you to be in the 17% club, you have to do more than just 5 things to get your business ready. We have several ways we can help you do that. So now I'm going to share with you how we can help you be a 17%er by maximizing the value of your business. Remember that fork in the road that we had at the beginning of our webinar today? Well, we also have a fork here. We have 2 ways that you can go that will arrive at similar places, maximizing value in your business and ready for transition. You can go down the fast lane, which maybe you've already done some of those things. You have a trusted peer group and you know the valuation already. You just need to figure out how to maximize value of your business. Well, we can help you do that down the fast lane. We have a 4-step process that we use to define and execute the ultimate exit strategy with our clients. Let me describe those 4 steps to you. Step 1 is the transition readiness assessment. It's all about understanding where your business is today. We examine over 500 points in the business to understand what's right, what's wrong, and what needs to be tweaked. Now, the end result is a 30 to 50 page heat map, we call it, that grades the business overall and each department separately on how ready the business is, as if a transition were to happen tomorrow. Think of it as a snapshot in time. Now, some areas may be ready and other areas may be not. This assessment will tell you which is which. We also provide at the end of the assessment an opinion of enterprise value. That's what we talked about, getting a valuation on your business. So step one is that snapshot in time that will tell you exactly how ready you are and tell you how much your business is currently worth. That leads to step two, the roadmap for value acceleration. This is where we take the data from the transition readiness assessment, and then we do a little bit deeper dive to talk with the business owner to understand what the ideal desired outcome is, what it looks like, what the type of transition desired, the value of the business, the perfect timing for that transition. All of those things are things that we help business owners discover. Now, since we already know where the business is from the TRA, once we understand the ideal desired outcome, we can build a custom strategy to get you there. Think of it as a Gantt chart that tells you specifically what you need to do quarter by quarter to reach your desired outcome. That's what we call the roadmap for value acceleration. Step three, it's not just as easy as that. Step three is the relentless execution phase, where you execute the strategy that we develop in step two. Now, you can do this step on your own, sort of a do-it-yourself model, or by partnering with Mastery partners to hold you accountable as we execute the strategy together. And once that's complete, you're ready for step four. It's decision time. Are you ready to transition your business? Or are you having so much more fun and making so much more money that you want to keep going? That is not an outrageous outcome. We hear that very frequently from our clients. But the beauty is you'll have options at that point. When it's time to transition, you'll have options so that you can transition your business on your own terms. So jumping right in and doing a TRA is right for many business owners who want to be in the fast lane. If, however, you simply don't have the time to dedicate because it's a fairly intensive program that takes several weeks to get through, if you don't have time to dedicate to that intensive process, then option two, the other fork in the road, might be right for you. Option two is our MasterYclass. The MasterYclass is a program that lasts 12 months. It's bite-sized pieces of the TRA over the course of a year. Now, I want to be clear. The MasterYclass walks through the first step in our four-step process, the TRA, the assessment phase. And while it doesn't take you through all four steps of the program, it will lead you through a process of discovery to get on the right path, and your business will improve in the meantime. Our next class is starting later this month. Let's get into some of the details of what it involves. In our MasterYclass, here's what you can expect. And this is what we've experienced in our mastery classes that we've done so far. We started this program a year ago, and now we've got a full year under our belt with several classes going. And so here's what you can expect. We'll meet as a group once a month in the monthly virtual mastery class. You'll be part of a peer group with other like-minded business owners. You'll have a monthly one-on-one with me to dive deeper into your business specifically. We'll build your leadership toolbox with lessons you can apply in your business for immediate results. And you'll have access to our trusted advisor network to help you every step of the way. Let's look at those kind of individually. The mastery class will meet virtually as a group once a month, where we'll break the meeting into 3 sections. It's a 3-hour class once a month. First, you'll get to know your fellow classmates as we build a peer group community to support one another in our businesses. Second, we'll work through a section of the TRA. each month until we get through the whole thing. And then finally, you'll add lessons to your leadership toolbox that you can put to use immediately in your business. We'll spend about an hour each month to work through a section of the TRA where you'll be able to grade your business. This will be self-assessed, but not without eyes on. I'll be watching the whole time to see where you are so that you can grade your business on each of the 500 points in our assessment. By the end of the class, over 12 months, you'll have a complete assessment of your business, department by department, and you know exactly what you should be doing in your business and how your business is doing. Every business owner needs a tribe, a group of trusted folks who can provide advice, input, and help in a confidential, judgment-free zone. The Mastery class will give you a tribe of other business owners who are focused on the same thing. And finally, in our Mastery class setting, you'll learn lessons in leadership that you can put to work right away in your business. We call that the Leadership Toolbox. In the Leadership Toolbox, you'll get productivity tools like the Ivy Lee method for peak performance, net time, no extra time, time savers. You'll learn about and how to use intentional procrastination. Now that's a term that we developed. And you'll understand how to take massive action. You'll also get financial tools. You'll learn budgeting, cash flow modeling, key performance indicators, and identifying tax credits. You'll get operating tools. We'll talk about the culture index, the entrepreneurial operating system, or EOS, as described in Gino Wickman's book, Traction. And we'll talk about driving innovation in your business. You'll also get growth tools, from story branding to sales growth strategies. And then finally, you'll get life planning tools, including the infamous green box exercise that we use in Vistage. Each one of these lessons, properly implemented in your business, will give an immediate return on your investment in the program. So in addition to those monthly Mastery Class group meetings, you'll also get that one-on-one with me, where we're going to do a little bit deeper dive into the issues that are currently impacting your business. We'll talk about how each of these monthly lessons can be applied specifically in your business. So think of that as kind of one-on-one coaching tailored specifically to you and your business. Now, you'll also get access to our experts. We've built an incredible network of trusted advisors that will actually make guest appearances at the Mastery class, where they'll be presenting for some of the toolbox lessons, and they'll offer free consultations on any issues that are impacting your business. Now, don't take my word for it. I'm standing here talking about it. We developed the class and we talk about it. Let's hear what some of our Mastery class participants have said over the last year. This comes from a current Mastery classer. As a business owner with 20 years experience, a law degree, and an MBA, I've taken a wide range of courses on business topics. These include a year-long course with the SBA and the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. Tom Bronson's course is far and away the most useful. The extensive personal experience, circle of knowledgeable outside speakers, and structured approach to analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of a business show how business owners can create a well-run business so they can sell it when it's time to exit. Given that only 17%, see, he was paying attention, only 17% of the small business owners successfully exit, learning how to do it from the master is a must. In my experience, nothing compares to this Mastery class. Another one of our participants over the last year, I've been in business for a while, but the accountability from Tom in our one-on-ones has really helped me move the needle and drive my business forward. I highly recommend the Mastery class. And from another one of our participants, I'm currently in the program and I want to be Tom when I grow up. Now that is just sad. That's just sad, I just have to say. So yeah, I love the TRA process, so thorough, and I love the toolbox setting. So let's talk about what this is worth. Let's talk about that. The transition readiness assessment, if you go out and do that right now in your business, depends on the size of the business and a couple of other questions. Those range from $5,000 to $15,000. An opinion of enterprise value ranges anywhere from about $4,500 to $15,000, and some are much more expensive depending on the purpose, if you get it from an independent valuation firm. Peer group programs range from $12,000 to $25,000 a year. Think of Vistage or the Alternative Board or the Entrepreneurs Organization. All of those programs are worth investigating. In fact, I'm a member of Vistage myself, but they're not inexpensive. They're sometimes can be a little bit expensive. The Toolbox trainings are worth about $2,500 if you bought those classes separately from us. The private one-on-one coaching with me 12 times a year for 1 hour is worth about $6,000. And you get a tax strategies assessment that's worth about $2,500. When you add all that up, it adds up to an investment of between $32,000 and $66,000. Okay. With a value of at least $32,500, and with our desire to make this more affordable for small business owners, we've set the investment at just $1,250 a month. But wait, in Ron Popeil style, there's much more. For the last time, this is the end of our inaugural year. We're starting our first mastery class of 2022. And because you're here at the beginning, blazing a new trail, we're making an incredible offer for our mastery classers that sign up this week. It's just $975 a month. You can choose to pay monthly or 12 months in advance on the program. So that's up to a $66,000 value this year for just $975 a month. And it's an incredible offer for those who are ready to get started preparing your business for transition and maximizing business value. Now, if you go to the MasterYclass website, which Kim, have you put that in there? I think, yeah, the MasterYclass, MBVMasteryclass.com, master with a Y, MBV, maximize business value, MasterYclass.com. Be sure to use discount code 2022 at checkout to get the 22% discount. See what we did there? 22% for 2022. I like that. Registration for the class is currently open and the class starts this month. In fact, registration closes on Friday. So I encourage you to visit mbvmasteryclass.com to sign up or learn more. There's a lot of more information about the Mastery Class right on that website. There's a link in the chat box, and we'll be sending you an email to follow up after this. So if you join the Mastery Class, by the end of it, you'll know what your business is worth. You'll be clear on the future of your business. You'll surround yourself with the right people. You'll clearly understand your value creation revenue, and you'll sharpen your saw. When you add those things up, you'll have a perfect score of 30, and you'll be well on your way to developing a solid exit strategy for your business. Look, there are thousands of peer groups, masterminds, master classes you could join. Frankly, and honestly, if you join any one of them, it would probably be great for your business. But we hope that you'll consider joining us in the Mastery Class, because this is what we are all about: driving ridiculous results, driving them, owning them, achieving the results. Educating and helping business owners. Frankly, that's what gets me out of bed every morning at 5 a.m., I might add. Creating massive value for business owners, just like I have using these very same tools in my businesses. And teaching business owners our success formula. You'll understand what your business is worth today and the things you need to do to take your business to the next level. What you do now matters when it comes to the future value of your business. Let's make 2022 count. Join our Mastery Class today. Kim's put a link to the Mastery Class registration right there. When you sign up, you'll also have to confirm, I think, with an email. It'll send you an email to confirm that you're joining. So don't forget to click that link as well. So what are the three things, I promised I was going to ask this, what are the things that you're going to do? If you're brave enough, jump out there and toss out one of the things that you're going to do in your business. Or if you don't want to type it out, then open your mic and shout them out. Well, Kim, do we have some questions in the chat? I have to put my glasses back on.
Hey, Tom, we had one from Emmanuel. He wanted to know at what time in the 4-step process is a specific transition type decided on?
Say that again. What time?
At what time in the 4-step process, in our 4-step process, is a specific transition type decided on?
So that is part of step 2, the roadmap for value acceleration. And the reason for that is we want to know, once we do the assessment phase, then we're going to explore all of those different exit options with the business owner to help them understand what is the best transition for their business. And then we're going to build that roadmap toward that future ultimate goal. Now, I'm the first one to tell you that over time, sometimes that exit strategy ebbs and flows. Sometimes it changes in the process. That happened to me in my last business. In the last business that I sold, which was Granberry Solutions, a solid middle market company that we sold to a big publicly traded company back in 2018. Can't believe it's been 4 years ago. Wow. But when we first started that business in 2001, we had an intended exit strategy, but the market conditions changed. And so we had to transition to a different type of strategy. And guess what? Over time, because we held that business for 17 years, over time, the conditions changed again, and we had to pivot to a new exit strategy, which is fine, though, because if you understand where you're going, then you can take a path to get there. Otherwise, you're taking a path that if you don't know where the end of the race is, how do you know if you're making the right decisions? So understanding what's going on in the marketplace, I know my good friend Larry Lane, who happens to be on here today, can help you understand what's going on, the market conditions in your market. We can help you do that here at Mastery Partners. If you understand that, then when it's time to pivot, it's okay. Make those decisions and then change course and move in the right direction. Are there, let's see, what's that? Is that good?
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. So let's see, Jim, prepare to transition. 3 items: prepare to transition, join a peer group and the MasterYclass. Congratulations. And understand your VCR. Anybody else? Are there any other questions, Kim? Didn't learn anything else here today. Learn this. Take action to make 2022 count while you maximize your business value. Thank you for joining us today.